20.6% of Americans speak a second language according to American University. That's 1 in 5 Americans, while 65% of Europeans can speak a second language. And this graph right here shows how 60% of Swedes can speak a second language, meanwhile 23% of Americans can speak a second language. There are over 7,000 languages that are spoken on the planet, the most common being Chinese, English, and Spanish. Although the U.S. does not have an official language, most Americans speak English. And knowing a second language is not considered the norm in the United States. As someone who has been learning Spanish for many years, I can say it has broadened my way of thinking and has overall been very beneficial in my life. One should learn a second language because it increases your career options, improves your attention span, as well as broaden your cultural perspective. Knowing a second language makes you more valuable to employers. According to Workforce Essentials, bilingual workers are in such high demand. On average, bilingual employees make 5 to 20% more than a monolingual employee. Since some people in the U.S. or worldwide do not speak English, employers need employees that are able to communicate with a larger audience of people, making them willing to pay more for a bilingual employee. Also, according to Workforce Essentials, the demand for bilingual workers has increased over 30% since 2020. According to Green Staff Medical, largely Hispanic populated states such as Florida, Texas, Illinois, and California, there's a higher demand for Spanish-speaking employees, especially in healthcare. If nurses and doctors cannot understand their patients, they cannot give them proper medical care based on the language barrier. This shows how you are more likely to be hired by an employer if you're bilingual. Now that we understand the job benefits that come with being bilingual, let's talk about the personal advantages. Learning a new language can widen your variety of thinking. Studies show that people who are bilingual have a better time multitasking and switching between tasks when they switch between languages because it exercises your brain. Since your brain is a muscle, it needs to be trained. If you want your muscles to grow and get stronger, you go to the gym and train your body. Same with your brain. Working out your brain by learning a new language is a great way to improve memory retention and problem-solving skills, ultimately making you smarter. Learning a new language gives you the opportunity to widen your variety of thinking culturally as well. When you learn a new language, you're not just learning about the verb conjugations, the noun, and the grammar. You learn about the culture and customs that come with that language. Learning about culture is very important and can only be done and experienced by knowing that language. I'm going to use Spanish as an example because it is the largest language spoken in the United States besides English. When you learn a language, it's the gateway to a country's culture. And according to Britannica, there are 18 different countries that have Spanish as their official language. Each country has its own unique dialect, food, culture, history, and people. It's extremely interesting to get to know about all the different countries that come along with getting to know that language. Native speakers you encounter when learning the language are often very supportive and are willing to help you with your language journey. I've made many relationships with people by simply knowing the language. It's a great way to have that connection with someone. Today, we talked about the benefits that come with learning a new language and why you should learn a new language. Although becoming fully fluent takes many years and causes a lot of time, it's extremely rewarding and beneficial. We learned that being bilingual comes with many professional benefits. It can also allow you to think from an outside cultural perspective and expose you to new people, food, and customs. I mentioned how there are over 7,000 languages spoken on our planet. Which one would you like to choose to learn?